Toast is
Thank you. So this is your first time on Toast, I guess.
It is.
What are your expectations for tonight's show?
I'm honestly really excited to learn. I think conversations around these topics are always so hush hush. Everybody's like, I don't want to talk about vagina. I don't want to talk about this.
You're doing the same thing.
I mean, I'm just doing it so that people are not cringing. Because when we get into the show, you know that we are really going to get in there. But really, I'm just really excited to learn. I'm really excited to be here and to be a part of this important conversation. And I'm just looking forward to it.
Okay, Kaysa, have fun. Hi, Dr. Karen.
Hi.
I don't know, but your face, I think your face could pay for any bill because your face is eating.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yours too.
Oh, thank you. So is this your first time being on Toast?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so what are your expectations for tonight's show and what are you planning or intending to teach us today?
So we're going to have very, very candid conversations and we'll answer all your questions and speak about the things that people don't want to speak about.
Okay, so have fun tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome to Toast on GHOne TV. Today we have a very, very special episode. We're interacting with you guys. We're talking to the audience. We're going to have a very special episode and a conversation on self-care and intimacy. This show is brought to you by Quikova and by Dove, and in partnership with Stay by Plan and the Honey Pot Spa, which is where we are. A very lovely place, as you can see. And so, let me introduce my guests.
I'm excited.
So yes, please introduce yourself to the people at home.
I'm an obstetrician and gynecologist, so I take care of everything women's health, right from birth up until menopause and beyond. So I am happy to be here and happy 3rd anniversary to Honeypot Spa.
Wow,
Lovely, amazing place. Just check out the ambience. I'm already at home here.
amazing. And you?
Hi, my name is Kesa. I'm a multidisciplinary artist. That's what I like to call myself. I make music, I make videos on YouTube, social media content, and anything artistic. You're gonna find me there. And
So let's go a little bit into your music journey. You said you're a musician. How long have you been a musician?
I mean, I've been doing music for officially about 2 years now. It's about to be 2 years.
Okay.
And yeah, it's been great. I have about 3 singles out now, and I have music that's coming out very soon. In about a week.
It's been, you said it's been 2 years.
Mhm.
How difficult has the 2 years been? People think it's easy, but how difficult has it been for you? Would you
It's
say?
been very eye-opening. I think that people just see music as what it is. You hear the music, you're enjoying it, but there's so much that goes behind it. You know, if I start to go into it, I don't think we'll end the day. But it's just been a really great experience overall. I think I've learned a lot, and I'm just, learning and being a student of the game. So I'm really enjoying my time.
Nice. And I'm a fan of your music, so
Thank you.
thank you for joining us today. And Dr. Karen,
Thank you.
yes, you said you're an obstetrician. It's not an easy word to say. And a gynecologist. So tell me more about that. What does that mean? It's a big word. What does it mean?
So you can say OBGYN or ONG or gynae for short. So obstetrics has to do with the care of pregnant women. So right from the time they fall pregnant till delivery and even 6 weeks after delivery. So that's postpartum care. Then gynecology means the study of everything about women, the reproductive system, right from the time they are babies till death.
Okay, very interesting. So just to let everybody know, at home and in the audience with us today, Maame Animwaa, who is the host of the show, will join us very shortly. But I'm starting the show before she joins us. So ladies, before we get into the conversation, let's pop some quick over and toast to a great show. Or what do you guys think?
Yeah,
I agree.
let me hear you say.
Hey,
Hey.
they have sealed it tight because it's very important content in the bottle.
Hey.
We are there.
Yay!
Oh, guys, applause. Thank you. Let me pour some. This is how they do this in the restaurants, I think. Okay, that's for you.
Thank you.
Okay. And for you?
Thank you.
Me there, I can take it straight from the bottle, but I'll not do that.
This one was
Oh, yes. To a great show.
Okay,
Cheers.
Cheers.
We'll take a break. We'll be right back.
We often think only of romantic or physical closeness, but intimacy is much broader, and that's where self-care comes in. True intimacy starts with self-awareness and self-compassion. When we care for ourselves, we raise our standards for how we want to be loved, touched, heard, and held by others. Tonight, we have a conversation on how we become capable of deeper love, more authentic intimacy, and real connection.
Right, so let's get right into it. Tonight's conversation is self-care in relationship. I'm going to start with Dr. Karen, because, I mean, she has a bit more professional knowledge when it comes to this topic. If I'm to ask you this on a personal level, what does self-care in a relationship mean to you? How best would you define this?
You mean self-care in a relationship?
In a relationship.
Okay. So when it comes to self-care, we're talking about not just the physical. I like to encompass mental health as well, because that's really important. And then everyone might believe in something. So if you do, then spiritual health as well. So self-care means that, I mean, we can't get to 100%, but it means that taking the time to nurture all the different aspects of ourselves. So the physical, the mental, and then, if possible, the spiritual. So that's what self-care means. And then in a relationship, well, self-care in a relationship is very important, because if people are not really able to take care of themselves or feel really good about themselves, then it has an impact on the relationships they are in as well. So it's important to have a good...
Before I even move on to the gentleman, I want to ask you this. Do you think when it comes to our society, there is this unspoken rule when it comes to self-care? For instance, a guy could be dating a girl, and maybe they notice a few patterns, like let's say in terms of her upkeep, how she, takes care of her home, or even how she dresses, certain hygiene levels and stuff like that. Do you think this is actually ending a lot of relationships quicker or sooner than it's actually supposed to end?
Yes, actually, it is true. We spoke about how by the end of the show, I hope that speaking about these topics will not be a taboo and people will be more open to it. It's difficult to tell someone if there's a problem with them, because we don't want to hurt their feelings. So sometimes this difficulty or challenge with telling the partner about the problem comes from a place of trying to preserve or keep the relationship going and not hurt the other person. But looking at it in the long run, it actually hurts the relationship. So it's okay. I mean, bad breath is not like something that can be changed. So it's okay to tell someone about something that can be changed. And sometimes the people will actually appreciate it. So we shouldn't be scared to tell our partners or people we're in a relationship with, not necessarily partners, but other people we're in a relationship with, like friends, cousins, siblings, if there's something wrong with them, because it can be changed. It's different from if someone has a part of their body that can't be changed, like maybe they have a particular shape or deformity that can be changed. But most of the time, these self-care defects or problems can actually be changed. So it's okay to tell the other person. And then on the receiving end, the one receiving the supposed criticism shouldn't feel that way. Just accept it in good faith and then better themselves or ourselves. So
okay, let me move on to the finest influencer and artist here in Ghana. When we talk about influencers here in Ghana, I'm sure you guys see the content. They are usually more particular when it comes to their upkeep. They'll show you a day in the life of, let's get ready with me, come with me to the salon, all of that stuff. And I mean, I follow you, so I see how you usually take care of yourself. But for you, for the people that are probably not really well updated with you when it comes to your personal life, what does self-care actually mean to you?
I think self-care has to do with you. I think she mentioned earlier, it's not just about the physical, it's also the spiritual aspect and then your mental health as well. And so for me, just the things that I would do typically is, if I know that, I feel like it's not every day that people can be 100%. Like there are some days where the typical things you do, maybe I have a 5-step skincare routine, I'm rushing out, I'm tired. I wouldn't be able to do that 5-step skincare, but I think it's just in the little things, like making sure that you're showered, you're well rested, you're reading, if you like to read, if you like to listen to music, and that's something that keeps you in a good mood to kind of like boost just your outward appearance and how you feel. I think you should just do that. And then, if it's to go to church and then, get some spiritual guidance, I think that's what it is. But for me, typically, I like music, I love music, so I'll play some music, I would journal if I have to, and just like things that make me feel really good about myself. Anything that makes me feel good about myself, I think is self-care.
Well, as you can see, our two guests are looking amazing. You can tell that they take very good care of themselves. So now straight to you. How do you practice self-care? Tell us.
I think for me, self-care, it should be something that's a routine. You know, a lot of women actually believe that self-care is just something that you just be there and then maybe once a month you just get up and you're like, oops, I need to. It's something that you have to practice continuously to actually, you know, get into the habit of it. Little things like brushing your teeth twice a day.
Yes.
It's actually a pattern that once you start actually working in it, it becomes a pattern, becomes a routine. It's actually some sort of self-care as well. There's just something, you know, when I'm talking to the ladies out here, is it just me, or even, let's say, there'll be a moment where you're feeling down or you're feeling sad about something. The moment you go to the hairdressers, you get your hair done or get your pedicure, you feel brand new.
Yeah, I can relate to.
Hey.
I like that.
Right, but Kaiser, has there ever been a moment where you felt like there was more you could do in terms of your self-care routine?
When I go online and I see certain things, I'm like, this is extra. You know, I feel like some people, especially in this part of the world, you see that somebody opens their window and is holding a cup of coffee and they're like, hey, what's this? Like, what's she trying to do? What's she trying to feel like? But I think that those things are very real for certain people. And sometimes I see certain things that people do, certain practices, and I'm like, I'd like to try that and incorporate that into my routine and see how that makes me feel. So I think that it's all about stepping up the things that make you feel good about yourself. I feel like some people also complain and think that self-care is all about, you know, spending money, maybe going somewhere expensive, or, you know, maybe they don't have money to like go to a spa or something like that. But then I think it all starts from your home and the daily things that you do. So just like you said, yeah.
Okay, if you're just tuning in, it's Toast right here on GHOne Television. And of course, I'm in conversation with Kaiser, Zoo, and Dr. Karen. Now, on to an even more in-depth question. Who benefits more when it comes to self-care in a relationship?
You live inside your body. So basically, you are going to be the one if you practice it well. Of course, the partner or the person in the relationship. I'm assuming when we say relationship, we're talking about, we're not talking about just friendship, right?
No.
Yes, so of course that would be a fringe benefit for the partner, but the greatest person to ever benefit from self-care is our own self. So basically what I'm trying to say is we do it for ourselves and not necessarily for the other person. So it shouldn't be like a show that you're doing this because a particular person will appreciate you. Do it for you.
You feel
I
like,
love that smile. It says a lot.
It says a lot, I know. Do you feel like you always need to be at your best when you're meeting your partner? Do you need to always smell nice, look good, your hair needs to be done? What do you think?
To be honest, I'll say yes. I think you need to do your best. Like I said earlier, it's not every day that you are feeling your best, but I think it is the little things. You know, if I'm going up to my partner, I personally wouldn't want him to feel like there's something off, or I would want to give my best and feel my best, first of all, before I present myself to him. So definitely, I think it's important. It's very important to present yourself in a way that, you know, just brush your teeth, you know, spray a little, 1, 2, just something, brush your teeth, take a shower. I think those are the main things you can do. No matter how bad you're feeling, it may not be easy, but I think it's important, and it says a lot about yourself.
So does this count as self-care? Let's just say you're in a relationship, right, and you use a particular deodorant for yourself. You love the smell, obviously that's why you bought it for yourself. And then your partner tells you that I'm not really a big fan of this particular scent, but you know there's nothing wrong with it. But he asked you to change it. But maybe the tone or the deodorant that he actually wants you to use is not really one of your preference. So if you eventually end up changing it to what he likes, does that also count as self-care? Because at that moment you're not doing it for him. You're not doing it for yourself. You're doing it to please him, right?
So at the end of the day, what happens to your peace of mind mentally if you change it? If changing it is going to cause havoc to the way you feel at the end of the day, you feel like changing it is something that you can't compromise on, you'll be thinking about it and worrying, then that's not really self-care. So it's really boils down to the things that you do that give you peace of mind or make you feel well. If you're going to change it and use something you don't like, then you're not going to feel good about it. You actually not even want to use it. And if you do use it, you'll be like thinking, I'm not so happy. So that's not really self-care. So in this case, well, I would say a compromise would have to. Yeah.
So I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
You're asking us related
Go ahead.
So you know, typically when people enter a relationship, they put their best foot forward. Like, the women have their hair done, their nails done, everything. And when they start to get comfortable in the relationship, some things may start to change. You understand? Some people are not able to navigate that change properly. In your experience, maybe you don't share your experience, but maybe from what you've seen or in your personal experience, how do people navigate that through self-care and through taking care of themselves? That transition from edges laid to their dirty cornrow.
This particular conversation, I don't think it's just in relationship. I think it even transcends into marriage. We hear a lot of married men say that before I married my wife, when I come home, she's in her lingerie, she's probably, done her hair and her stockings, all of that, Once they get married, all of that changes. And I just feel like it's just a natural human thing. You've caught the fish.
So
right? You have to keep seasoning the fish still.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Yeah. So
Right.
I think it's probably also necessary for us to also remind ourselves why the person got with us in the first place. I think maybe that's why a lot of married men probably cheat as well.
Hey.
Don't shoot me, but yeah, that could be it. That could be it, because usually the excitement is there in terms of taking care of yourself. And I think men love this whole thing where they feel like, oh, my woman really takes care of herself. But afterwards, we just feel like, and I think it even gets worse when kids come in.
The onus is always on women, but even men too. The man is going to come with a lot of energy.
Oh, really? Like, what would he possibly be doing?
I'm just speaking, maybe not in his appearance, but
Right.
in terms of the energy he brought to the relationship. Maybe the
Right.
dates he was
Okay.
taking you on, the places you were going, the things you were exploring. Has that also reduced? I think that if you can say that, yes, that has reduced, then I think it's just a human thing. When you're going for a job interview, you're going to go putting your best foot forward. But maybe after you get the job, you're not going to be wearing heels again every day. You'll be wearing slippers. Like, do you get what I'm saying? And I don't think it reduces, or it means you were faking, or you were not really being yourself. I just think it just means you just wanted to put in a little bit more effort because somebody new is coming on board, or you're meeting somebody new.
But are we able to keep up with it?
I mean, when you're going for a job interview, definitely you go, like, it's true, you go with your best. But if you really, really, really want to keep your job, then the things that they employed you for are what you should keep doing, right? So if you do things a bit differently or way different from what they employed you for, then definitely you lose the job. And it's the same for relationships.
But now let's talk about intimate well-being or intimate wellness when it comes to being in a relationship. Why are you laughing?
Interesting choices of
So are you
words.
going to answer that?
Oh, no. The floor is yours.
People get carried away and then they don't realize, like, I think you need to wash your hands, first of all, before you start anything, because definitely hands and things are going into certain places that need to be, protected. And I think women are also very prone to catching things easily.
Yeah.
I would also say that you should definitely, like, after sexual intercourse, you should urinate. Like, you should go to the bathroom and use the toilet to, and things like that. Just making sure that, you're keeping your pH balanced and clear and all these things. So yeah, just the simple things, just washing your hands and peeing after sex can really, it can go a long way, I feel. So yeah.
Okay, but let's clear a few myths that we hear when it comes to the actual thing, like you said. Number one, from where I sit, I hear a lot of stories, or a lot of people say things like, oh, if you eat Greek yogurt, it helps keep the place fresh or clean.
Hey.
How can it keep the place fresh or clean if you're not taking your shower or bathing properly, or probably even douching wrong? So maybe, Doc, you can clear that myth for us.
Yeah, so
briefly.
that's a good one. So it starts again with the basic personal care, daily routines that we do. Waking up, having our bath, washing the vaginal area well. So we don't actually have to use water for the inside. So when we're talking about the external, is it getting uncomfortable?
Oh, not at all.
Okay, so we're talking about the
Very
external.
He knew what he signed up
which
for.
which is the vulva. So that's the area that needs cleaning because it has the sweat glands, it has the hair. So washing with the outside. So when I'm not talking about the inside. I'm talking about the outside. So washing with clean water, mild soap, and then the actual canal, which is the vagina or the introitus, doesn't need any cleaning. It's self-cleansing. I mean, people have all sorts of things that they do, like you have to flash water in. No, it doesn't need that. So once the outside is fine, the inside just needs nothing at all. I mean, there's the actual, like, just the external surface that water can be run over, but not the inside. So douching is not great because she mentioned the pH. So there's an optimal pH. So pH meaning how acidic or alkaline the vagina is. So it should be maintained at a particular pH. So harmful practices like using yoni pearls, quintia, ginger. Yeah, I always talk about it. It's not a barbecue.
Right.
So we're not doing a barbecue. We're not doing light soup. So the inside doesn't need any of those things. No, it's true. Like people come to me and be like, oh, yesterday I used, and when I'm talking about people who should be enlightened. Oh, I used quintia. Wow. Like I'm like, did you use quintia in the kitchen or there? But they're talking about using all sorts of agents inside, ginger, garlic, cloves,
barbecue sauce.
So it's like a barbecue going on, but you need none of that. So basically just cleaning and keeping the pH right will help things. But then it's true, diet affects the pH and how good the place is. So Greek yogurts will help with the good bacteria and the bad bacteria balancing out. So things like that help. But if you're not doing the basics, then forget it.
Yeah. So from me, from like a layman's perspective, you are the expert, so you can tell me. I feel like some of the reasons why people end up using some of these things is because there's not enough education surrounding these things. And I feel like it's because people are viewing these conversations as a taboo. Like even this conversation we're having here, somebody's in the house, they're saying, then they'll change the channel. You understand? But these are conversations that we should be having more often. We need to know and understand more. So, Kesa, what do you think we can do to let people understand that they shouldn't be using kitchen ingredients inside the body?
I think we need to make the conversation like very non-judgmental. I think it also starts from the home. I think what your parents are telling you about, you know, your reproductive organs and even intimacy in general, I think those things are really frowned upon here. Unfortunately, I can't really relate to that because at home, my family is quite, in fact, very vocal. So we talk about these things right from the onset. I think I was about 11 or 10 when my mom started teaching me about sex education and all these things. And I think they're very important and you should know these things. So, so back to the question, which was how do we make sure that these conversations are comfortable? I think, it starts from the home. And then moving on into that, I think something I experienced when I was in school was just how secret it was to the secrecy behind like menstruating and just having your period. And I feel like those things are very uncomfortable. Girls are like, hey, you saw it yourself. There's somebody who wants. I mean, it can be a little embarrassing because it is something that is coming from your insides. But I think it should be a little bit more normalized.
But you know, Kaiser, I read some comments, pre-show on this particular topic. And from where I stand, it looks like, especially with our Ghanaian practice, a lot of the comments goes to show that people still believe in those things because they believe that our grandmothers and our grandfathers, I mean, who knew that Bentwa? Right now, I'm sure if I tell you that, I want to come and say you'll probably be like, oh, what's that? Like, it's probably a health hazard or anything like that. But I'm sure some of these things, Doc, is there a bit of truth to it that actually works? No. So when our grandparents were doing all those things, they weren't really getting tested to see, have I had, you can test to see if the pH is thrown off. So those things were not there. And just like all other harmful practices all over the world, these things get perpetuated because it was done for them, so they are doing it for the next generation. So really what I see in my practice is when people do these things, there's the evidence, there's research.
So are you saying that our grandmothers are lying, or?
And people are saying it works.
Yeah, people are saying it works.
Which ones in particular work?
For example, the examples you gave us, ginger and garlic, somebody did this because someone told them that it works.
Well, if it works,
people who are watching will say, this woman doesn't know what she's talking about.
Even as a child, when your grandmother notices that you're getting a funny smell in your private area, they usually grind ginger and they put, it wasn't just for punishment, by the way, it was to actually help, apparently. Help.
My grandma didn't do that too. Sorry, I'm just saying. Carry on.
Dr. Karen. So does it work or it does not work?
Ginger, I've seen people come after inserting ginger and they come with a discharge or some irritation and all that. So I mean, ginger is known to doesn't neutralize scents. But it doesn't take away, if there's an actual infection, it's not really taking it away. People actually come with red, like when you examine, the place is really reddening and itching, and maybe, who knows, when the grandmothers were inserting it afterwards, they couldn't complain, but it does have some harmful effects on people. So, I mean, not all practices are bad. Like using salt in warm water to clean the external is something our mothers and grandmothers said, and it worked for them. Like maybe when you have a bit of irritation or you're treating a discharge, just for the outside, they'll put a bit of salt in warm water and then use it to wash the external, and those things work. So I'm not saying that all practices are harmful, but there are some which are quite harmful.
Okay.
Yes.
In a few minutes, I'll be taking some questions from our audience, and if you're just tuning in, it's Toast right here on GHOne Television. My name is Maame Animwaa, and I'm in conversation with Dr. Karen, Zoo, and Kaiser, our finest influencer and artist on the block. Thank you. But let me ask you this. I mean, let's move away from the whole sexual conversation. You know, now let's talk about women. We'll come to the men as well.
Yeah.
Let's talk about women, because a man and a woman in a relationship, definitely we see our time of the month. Self-care during or after our menstrual period. Kaiser, for you, how do you go about it?
Okay, personally, I feel like something I've noticed is sometimes when I get my period, like my pH can go up a little bit. I typically like to use tampons, and so I don't know if maybe I just prefer tampons. So personally, because I don't want that, I would just put in like a, what's the name of this thing, like boric acid, like the suppository, just maybe one time, just to make sure that everything is, you know, back to its regular programming. So that's typically what I do. I make sure that I'm showering more, even sometimes 3 times a day, because when you're in your period, you feel a little bit more musty. And then, yeah, I make sure to also shower after the gym, because I go to the gym quite a lot, and I'm not sitting in my sweaty clothing and things like that. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
you
mentioned boric acid. Is that safe? Because that's safe.
So this is based on, everything I say is based on research, because that is what we practice. So there are guidelines worldwide that each body, like maybe the gynecologist, the internal medicine, and so on have. And boric acid is considered safe, so the research has proven that it's safe. But yeah, I mean, it's not a daily thing.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to be like a daily thing, like she mentioned. So there's a prescribed way of using the boric acid.
Okay.
So it is fine. But please speak to your doctor before you take the boric acid.
Okay. Last question on the inserting of things. She mentioned that tampon. On the topic of tampons, it also counts as inserting something inside you, right? Is it also safe?
Yes, tampons are safe. So if they are manufactured well, they are safe. And in fact, they are very comfortable. People feel like, around over here, people in Ghana, I know a lot of people don't really use tampons, but they are actually great to use. The thing is that tampons can, one, get stuck. If they are kept for a long time, there can be an infection. So even though it's saying like, oh, change every 8 hours, definitely, like maybe for tampons, if you don't change them often, you can get something called toxic shock syndrome.
Okay.
So they should be changed like maybe every 4 to 6 hours, even if they are not soaked. But they're actually great and inserted. And it's not like they're inserted way up. They're just inserted at a level where it's safe. And it's really, they're really like great products actually. And it can be used by virgins.
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
It's good to
And
know.
lastly, on this topic as well, after periods, how often should a woman usually take before they engage in any form of sexual activity?
So this is a personal preference. Actually, from the research, if there is no infection and people wish to do it during their menstruation, it's allowed. Yes, yes, yes. It's not it's not from me, like that's not my personal, but I'm saying from a non-judgmental point of view that sex during menstruation is actually fine if there is no.
Are there any
chance.
health benefit to it?
So people say that when they engage in sex during their menses, their cramps feel better and then better orgasm. But if it's contraindicated, like for example, there is an infection, I mean, doing it increases the risk of infection. So that's a time where any infection, both sexually transmitted and non-sexually transmitted, can be got. But I mean, from a medical point of view, it's fine to do it during, if both partners are comfortable with it, and then right after the menstrual cycle, so it's fine. You know, there are some people who actually ovulate during their menstrual cycle because they have very short cycles. So for such a couple, what's going to be their advice? You can't tell them not to do it during their menses. So if both if the couple is comfortable with it, then why not? But just make sure that you maintain proper hygiene.
The way this girl's laughing, I'm suspecting her. Do we have any questions from the audience?
What are your thoughts on free bleeding? Free bleeding.
Free bleeding.
What does that mean? First off,
I have many thoughts on that.
what does that even mean?
So, according to the 3 or 4 TikToks I saw, there's a community of people that believe in bleeding freely, right? So no tampons, nothing. They just allow the blood to run.
From what I was understanding, I guess they feel like it's sort of the way to empower women. That was the logic. And I mean, I'm not here to say whether or not, but personally, I just don't see the point. I think it's very uncomfortable. You're going to have to change how many times a day. And I think also we need to be considerate of people, and not because you're going to move around, you're going to go to work, you're going to sit on places that people are going to sit on. It's not hygienic, and I think it can also transfer, some form of infection or disease. So personally, I don't subscribe to that. I think everything is personal preference. Right now, we live in a world where people want to make decisions for themselves, and so I feel if that's what you're on about, just maybe don't come close to me, but
I'm so shocked. Like, this is actually my first time hearing this.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'd like to say if they're okay with them having people's saliva and drool on them too, then that's fine. But we live in a world where there are other people, and body fluids need to be contained. That's why it's called body fluid and not external fluid. So saliva is contained in the mouth or spat into a private place. We pass urine into a toilet bowl or a place where it won't splash on other people. We poop and we don't spread the poop all over the place. So it's the same for the vaginal, the blood. So I also believe that it's a liberal thought for the perpetuation of a movement, maybe feminism, but personally I feel like the fluid should be contained.
So can we take another question from the audience?
Okay, so my question is, when it comes to menstrual pad, some people say the tampon is not the best, but the pad is the best because of the flat layer of it. But another thing is, my experience with tampon, I never think is the best because the pad has a flat surface, and after your menses, you see that you get to see some blood clots, all these small blood clots and others. But the tampon, it doesn't come up with that. And I don't know. I was like, what's happening?
Yeah, so it depends on them. That's a good question. It depends on the manufacturer. There are good products and bad products. A good tampon is supposed to absorb everything. So it works by capillary action. So it's drawing the fluid or whatever out. So if it's even clots, you might not see the actual clots on the tampon, but it's been able to draw the fluid part of it. So that's how come when people use tampons, they don't, good tampons, they won't see the actual clots like it being on the pad. Using pads and tampons are a matter of personal preference again. I did my residency training in South Africa, in Cape Town, and a lot of people that's how I got introduced to tampon. I know my mother used tampons when she lived outside the country many years ago, but a lot of people were actually using tampons, and I found it weird because I'm like tampon and all that. But when I used them, I realized that actually worked better for me, and it was convenient. Didn't have to worry about it shifting, like a pad shifting or like showing through a tight clothing. So it's a matter of personal preference, but I like to say that if manufactured well, tampons do a good job to like absorb all the blood. And I mean,
there's also the menstrual cup, which I think is not popular here at all, even worse than the tampon. But I think also because, like I'll say, I feel like it could also be more cost effective to use a menstrual cup because it's something that you use daily. I've never experienced that, but then I don't know if it's based on your experience or based on what you've heard. What would you advise? Would you say, if you were, I mean, I know it's about preference, but just your take on just a menstrual cup.
Should I answer this?
Hey, okay.
Yeah, I know it's so from my, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but from my understanding, menstrual cups typically are made of silicone. You can reuse it from now to maybe 10 years. I think probably going for around maybe 300 CDs, I think. So if you do the mathematics, between now and 10 years, spending 300 CDs on your intimate care and your menstrual care products, you're saving a lot of money. So if you can add to that, so that would be good.
So I haven't personally used menstrual cups, but there are amazing reviews about them. Again, menstrual cups are not really common here, but in other countries they are quite common. So it's like you mentioned, they are like little silicone, safe silicone that is inserted. So it's foldable, so it can be inserted up into the vaginal canal, and then it catches the blood. Of course, it has a time span with which it should be kept there, because if it's kept for a long time, it will cause infection. But most people also say they find it really, really comfortable, and so it's all a matter of personal preference, but it's safe to use. The only thing is that it shouldn't be kept for a very long time, otherwise there's a risk of infection. And it should also be removed with clean hands and then washed very well before reuse. So they are a great option. It saves the environment as well, because now the pads on the market are not made purely of cotton. There's plastic in it, so you can actually feel it when you use it or when you purchase them. So you find them in the soil, they haven't degraded, and heaven knows how many years it's going to take to break down. Tampons are usually made from cotton, even though there are artificial fibers used in them now. Also a great choice, but menstrual cups save the environment, and people find them quite comfortable, so we can consider that as well.
Thank you so much for your submission. This is Toast. We are on GH1 TV. We'll be right back after this break. Yes. We're back. We're back from that break, and we have something special for everybody who came here today. Not you guys, the people in the audience. So, in my hand, I have some names, some vouchers, and I'm going to pick 2 lucky winners. So, I'll keep the vouchers after the show. You guys can come and pick it up. So, if your name is here, pray. Maybe today's your lucky day. So, my first name here is Nah. Woo! Make some noise for Nah. Thank you.
This one, dear.
Interestingly, we have a producer who goes by the name of Nah. I don't know, maybe this is
It's definitely her.
match fixing, but it is what it is. And the second one, I'll actually just pick a random from the middle. So we have here Harriet. Yes. So congratulations to Harriet and Nah. You get a lovely package from the Honeypot Spa. Bear in mind, let me mention, they do vajacials, so if you have ingrown hairs and bumps, this is the best place to come to the Honeypot Spa, where we have, as you can see, a very lovely place. And congratulations to you guys on your 3-year anniversary, and we're looking to see more from you. So yes, the Honeypot Spa in East Legon.
Thank you very much, Zoo. If you've been watching us, we've been coming live to you from Honeypot. And of course, as he rightfully mentioned, if you need all your vajayjay care treatment, this is the place to be. And of course, thank you so much for being on the show tonight.
My pleasure.
And to Dr. Karen, we're very grateful to you. But I mean, what's your final thoughts on this particular topic?
These conversations have great impact because things that are difficult to speak about can be spoken about openly, and then people have free minds to continue. So it's going to be a cycle. So I like this, and I'm really happy Honeypot did this, because it's going to break cycles, negative cycles. And this is the reason why I ventured into social media, because I got a lot of questions from friends, colleagues, about things I thought, but this is normal, you should know about them. But actually people want to have conversations about them, and they don't know where to go. And they Google things, and then they end up Googling, and they say death is the side effect of whatever. I'm just making a joke about that. But it's good to research, but finding the right source of information is very important. And speaking to professionals is also very important. And it's also good to have conversations with friends and acquaintances and people to know their thoughts, share views, and then figure out if some practices will be beneficial for us as individuals. So it's good to have open lines of communication. And my closing thoughts and remarks are that conversations about intimacy and personal care are very, very important, and we shouldn't shy away from them. We should speak to our younger sisters, cousins, and break that cycle where we can't speak about things. And then men also, I'm very happy, like Zoo is very open-minded, and I'm really happy he wasn't squirming in his seat.
Yeah.
And he's
everybody clap for me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, he knew about one wine cup.
Yes. And he's
and he knew it was 300 cedis. I don't know how.
Yeah, so it's good to be open-minded
right?
about it. Yeah, it's good. So like, I was very impressed, and I think it's something that males should also emulate. So like, be curious. You have mothers, sisters, girlfriends, wives, side chicks, whatever. So be curious about what's happening to them. So yeah.
And of course the Kaiser.
Yeah.
I didn't butcher it. I mean, I want to know what a lot of us follow you on social media, and we've seen that recently you've been having back-to-back bookings here and there. I mean, but for your fans out there, what's next for you? What should we expect from the brand Kaiser?
Expect a new single. I have a new single coming out in about 2 weeks. I think October 10th, Friday. So if you're watching this by then, Don Dada is out, so make sure you stream. You guys are going to enjoy this one. And yeah, I have a project coming out very soon as well. Wow. So yeah, just watch out for that.
Can you give us a little freestyle on God?
A little
freestyle?
Yeah. Maybe I'll give you a freestyle of the new song.
Okay,
so you
ahead.
guys are going to be the first to hear it. So would you pray for me over my destiny? Oh, stay with me. Would you stand by me? People will not there for me. Or be jealousy. Oh, what's written will be. Yeah.
One more request from my producer. She said she wants On God as well. So
okay,
please drop it.
I mean, this is a prayer for everybody. The money go show by force. Call on the Most High God.
On God.
Oluwa go there on God, on God, on God, on God, on God. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And of course, to our lovely audience, thank you guys so much for coming through. It's been a pleasure having you on board. Oh, louder. And of course, to the whole crew, to the TV, to the camera crew, Nakwale, to Zoo, to Dr. Karen, to Kaiser, and of course to myself and to you at home. Thank you so much for sticking and staying with us. Until next week, we'll catch you later. Bye.
Ask me the cocoa, show you wanna know, show you wanna go. Wine on me slow, just win the lotto. The money where I find.